If you can't, you're not going to miss much. But I want to, on behalf of the family, give a word of welcome and also to state what an honor it is for me to be a part of this celebration of life well lived. I've been a member and a part ownership of the club that we used to belong to, and then for a time they kicked me out, and then they welcomed me back in, and thanks to Bill for that. An interesting man to say the least, and I want to welcome you. I've known Bill for 18 years or so, and we are members of the club. It's called, what is it called, fellas? The International Club. Well, the strange thing about that title is, when I started way back when, in the Dark Ages, the fact is we had one person by the name of Perry who was half Canadian. And that was the extent of it. So they bribed me to be a part of the International Club. And in return, they taught me to speak American English. Huh? So welcome on behalf of the family. This is a special day in their lives, and one in which we give thanks for a life that's been absolutely well lived. They don't come any better. And you know how tall that fellow was? He made me look like shrimp. I had to always look up for him and to him. And that was a wonderful experience just to know his friendship and to still know it. So welcome. And now we're going to have our first reading read to us and led by Lisa Jacobs and Michelle Young.
Thank you all so much for being here. I am going to read to you a eulogy that was sent in by Chuck Dusenbury, who's not able to be with us today, and add to the celebration and the memory of Bill. To me, a eulogy to Bill Herbert is not so much in words, but in sound. The sound of conversation. Hundreds upon hundreds of animated and interesting conversations over hundreds and hundreds of Friday lunches. Bill was not so often the instigator of those conversations. He was more the master of ceremonies, the man in the middle trying to run a three-ring circus by the tinkle of a fork on a wine glass, invariably muttering with a fatherly smile, "It's like herding cats." In the movie It's a Wonderful Life, Clarence, the guardian angel, says, "Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings." Well, for me, every time I hear the Friday luncheon call to order by the tapping of a wine glass, I think of Bill Herbert. Truly a wonderful life. Sisterly Good. I don't know where I go from this familiar scene, but God is there, and God is here, and all the way between. And though I go from all I know to some dim, vast unknown, though late I stay, or soon I go, I shall not go alone.
We would love for you to open up your programs and recite this together.
I don't know where I go from this familiar scene, but God is there, and God is here.
here and all the way between. And though I go, for all I know, to some dim vast unknown, though late I stay, or soon I go, I shall not go alone.
Good afternoon. My name is Autumn, and I'm one of Bill's daughters. And it's my honor to share part of that life well lived. William Franz Herbert was born on July 13th, 1930 in Tucson, Arizona. His mother was Melva Webb Herbert, and his father was William Paul Herbert, who went by Paul. In line with that family tradition of naming the first Herbert boy in each generation William, then alternating the use of William or the middle name that still continues generations later, he was called Billy, then Bill. When Bill was young, his family, including his younger sister Marilyn, I'm going to take that. His family, including his younger sister Marilyn, moved to Burlingame, California. And in 1946, at the age of 16, he graduated from Burlingame High. He was always committed to education, and he later received his bachelor's degree from Sacramento State and his MBA from Santa Clara University. In the 1950s, Bill began his long career with the Southern Pacific Company. His work took him to Dunsmuir, California, which at the time was an important railroad town. By the late 1950s and 1960s, his duties involved numerous construction, design, and engineering projects, including I've made that mistake every time I've read this. Projects including railroad line changes, removal and enlarging of tunnels, replacing wood snow sheds with ones made of precast concrete, replacing overhead bridges with open deck bridges, and constructing the centralized traffic control system in Northern California and Oregon. Many of you may have been regaled with these stories if you knew Bill. During this time, he also developed a love of skiing and opened up a ski shop in the basement of his home. Bill's ski shop became a thriving business, and it was moved to the main business districts, first in Dunsmuir and then in Mount Shasta. After many years in the northern part of the state, in the late 1960s, Bill and his family moved to the San Francisco Bay Area so he could take a position at Southern Pacific's San Francisco headquarters. He became general manager and then vice president, responsible for all of the natural resource properties owned by Southern Pacific. He worked in downtown San Francisco until 1984, when the Southern Pacific Corporation merged with Santa Fe Industries. At that time, Bill and his wife Marjorie relocated to Redding, California. Bill was instrumental in setting up the Santa Fe Pacific Timber Company, which owned 600,000 acres of timberlands in Northern California. In 1988, the same year it was sold to Sierra Pacific Industries, he retired as president of the company. That summer, without any protest from Marjorie, they moved from the heat of Redding to the temperate coastal climate of Carmel. For the past 29 years, their home has been a frequent and favorite destination for large, multi-generational family gatherings. Bill was an active board member. Now I have to be able to see through the tears, sorry. Bill was an active board member of several organizations during his career and throughout his retirement years. He served on the board of the Santa Fe Pacific Timber Company, the boards of the Council of California Growers, the California Water Districts Association, the California Forest Protection Board, board chairman, and the National Forest Industries Council. He was president of the Carmel Highlands Fire Protection District Board and the Carmel Meadows Association. He was a member of the Pebble Beach SIRS, the California State Chamber of Commerce, the Commonwealth Club, and the Commercial Club in San Francisco. And when he moved to Carmel, he became an active member of the International Club of Carmel. Through those ICC luncheons, he developed deep and lasting friendships with many members. And after his retirement, he also enjoyed regular getaways with his colleagues from Southern Pacific. He lived a full and productive life. And our family appreciates all of you who had the chance to work with Bill and are here today to celebrate his life. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we come to our next item on the agenda, where is she? It's me. Well, you know, that's the best way to give a congregation a shock of a Sunday morning. Is the minister here? Well, he is, but one of the things I want to share with you is the readings that are there in your bulletin. One comes from the Song of Solomon, or Song of Songs. It's a brilliant piece, and I'll read it to you. Arise, my darling, my beautiful one. Come with me. See, the winter has passed. Can you hear me out? Not the right style, but yeah, I have to say I kind of like them. Arise, my darling, my beautiful one, come with me. See, the winter is past, the rains are over and gone. Flowers appear on the earth, and the season of singing is come. The cooing of the doves is heard in our land. The fig tree forms its fruit. The blossoming vines spread the fragrance. Arise, come, my darling, my beautiful one, come with me. And then from the Hebrew prophet, Isaiah, are these words. Do you not know, have you not heard, the Lord, the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth, he will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and the young stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Some of these words, I think, find a place in each of our hearts. Because the bottom line is, life sometimes isn't easy. Saying goodbye is a difficult assignment. Making turns in the road that you don't want to take. But all of this is under the auspices, under the planning, and under the blessing of the God of all grace. Don't ask me if I understand it. I don't. And that's the beauty of it. All things work together for good to those who love God. And you raise an eyebrow and say, but I didn't like that. That was hard to bear. And yet, that's what we're called upon, to go through life. And then, in the process of that, knowing an awareness of someone that's close to you and who will never, ever let you go. That's what this is about. Thanks be to God. And now we come to the next point in our program. We've had the reflections and the readings. And now, I'm such a minister. Is this where we take the offering? No, I don't think so. Forget that one. That's the Presbyterian Scots in me that's coming out. But right now I'm going to ask Keith to come forward, please, and give the family remembrance. Thank you.
So my father was a very dapper man, and I rarely wear a suit and tie, so this is unusual for me. I'd like to take a moment to express gratitude to friends and family for attending today and for your continual love and support, to the wonderful caregivers who assisted Bill with love and dignity as he became unable to care for himself, and to Marjorie for hosting the celebration and for her unwavering love and devotion to her husband. He was Bill, Dad, Mr. Herbert, Sweetie, and Billy, though only to his mom. He was husband, father, son, grandfather, great-grandfather, brother, uncle, nephew, friend, neighbor, business associate, and boss. He enjoyed the myriad of relationships and the unique participation each of them offered. He was dazzled by us, his people. He has probably praised and admired everyone in this room to someone else at some time or another. Bill loved adventure and exploration, not just foreign lands and people, but ideas, inventions, books, and movies. He worked to improve himself and his knowledge of current thinking, events, art, and science. He shared his knowledge and new experiences with those around him, excited to pass on what he had encountered. His fascination for learning was ever present and never ending. He explored different musical, artistic, and literary styles and genres throughout his life. And when he made a new discovery, those around him were treated to his finds that he shared like hidden treasures. He learned some boogie-woogie riffs on the piano, and would sing in his deep baritone. He especially loved the blues and would play guitar and sing bluesy folk songs with his kids, like Lead Belly's Bring Me a Little Water, Sylvie. Bill was delighted with all aspects of business, vocation, and career. He would engage with genuine interest in someone's job or business, regardless of what it was. He liked the details and would advise and mentor where there was uncertainty or a new path. Many here have joined him on a tour of his or their own business, project, or venture. He spoke proudly of new logging practices he and his division were using for railroad-owned lands. He praised his departments and the teams responsible for all aspects of railroad construction, operation, and land management. In his home basement, as you've heard, he started selling skis and ski wear that weren't available in the small town of Dunsmuir. As sales increased, he called it Bill's Ski Shop and moved it to the middle of town in Dunsmuir and later to Mount Shasta. Bill's last job took him and Marjorie to Reading. Marjorie endured Reading, and Bill endured her cats. They both loved the dogs. When he retired, they looked for a seaside location with a view of the ocean. They happily settled in Carmel and immersed themselves in the local events, community, and landscape. Bill was an advocate for community and participated everywhere he went. He volunteered for a variety of services and was known for his contributions of time and direct involvement where help was desired or needed. Bill was funny and liked to joke or tease. Sometimes we were unsure if he was telling a serious story or a long tale with a punchline. He was a kind man and didn't like angry or mean behavior. Be sweet, he would tell his family, if they got a bit edgy or too aggressive. Perhaps he didn't tell the International Club members, loggers, or firefighters to be sweet. But we know he was kind and respectful, as he was to everyone. He loved his family, bragged how great we are as we expanded in size and relationships. The gatherings got bigger and louder. He was always in the midst of it, engaged fully, even when it required silly hats. Bill would have loved to be here with us. Another story of an adventure, discussion of new interests, conversation about someone's new job, tales of friends and family. In this room, there are so many memories and emotions and so much love that is him. And we get to keep that and share what we have and know about him. Thank you, Dad, for all of that. and thank all of you for being part of his life, and thank you for being here to share his life with us. And one last note, there is a remembrance book up on the table upstairs if you would fill in some of your memories. That would be great.
Now at this time, William, where are you? All right, you're on. Thank you.
I'll take that chair in the end.
All right, hi, I'm William. I'm one of Bill's grandchildren, and I'm going to be singing Over the Rainbow in his honor. And if anybody wants to sing along, I would encourage them. There's lyrics in the program. All right.
Thank you.